Hey everyone, it's Timid. I'm back with another episode of Road to 1K, and today we're going to be taking a look at this Tier 1 fog match on Boomerang Step V2 versus Agniritha, and yeah, so that's the wrong map. It's also the wrong map. Okay, I thought I had this pulled over, but anyways, this is Boomerang Step V2. It's another Starflash map. Actually, it's no longer in Global League currently, but so here's the thing that's interesting about it. It's basically got your basic corner production, right? 3 bases, 1 airport. The airport's all the way in the corner, so basically you just send someone to the corner, grab the airport, and then you can start spamming out battlecopters or whatever whenever you need it. In Fog, yeah, I feel like this is a decent air unit map, but mainly what could be solid as well on this map. Let me check. I think. Yeah, Sturm is tier 1 fog. Tier 1 in fog, so. Let me double check that. Oh yeah, it is at 53% win rate here, which is not bad at all. Hawk obviously has 58. Von Bolt isn't exactly great. He's got 49. But there are a couple of reasons why Sturm is actually pretty solid on this map. Reason one is you have these forests here, which basically no matter where you go, except for maybe from this base, but it's a bit far out of the way, you're going to have to pass through these forests in order to get to the front line, so Sturm can move a little bit faster through this way. And then the other thing that's makes Sturm pretty good on this map is the comm towers are pretty far away from your production centers, as well as your HQs actually. Your HQs maybe a little bit less, but they are still like, you still can't get to your HQ in 2 turns with the tank, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, actually, maybe you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it is 2 turns. Never mind. But it's only from this base, right? You can't reinforce from this base. You have to make sure that you're reinforcing from this base with the tank, and it is 2 turns away as well. And considering how large this map is, it might not be possible to reinforce depending on how many how many units Sturm decides to bulk up. Like, Sturm could easily just put in a wall of tanks here, wrap up all the infantry, and they just have his infantry follow up to take the HQ. So you have to be very careful when you're playing against Sturm on this map, because you can't just walk up to your HQ and just steal it, because you can't push through his units fast enough. The other thing that Sturm is really good at on this map is actually holding onto the comm towers, right? Because they are both pretty far away from your production centers, meaning it takes a while to reinforce to them, meaning that Sturm's defense is going to play a bit of a more important role. Now, they are a bit more isolated, I would say, the comm towers are. At least with the HQ here, the HQ is 4 defense for 1, but then there's like, there isn't as much road, but I feel like the comm towers are a bit less defensible as well, so even with Sturm's defense, it's not like too difficult to break through, especially if his like units aren't in the right spots, or your units aren't in the right spots, but Sturm can push pretty easily for the HQs, is what I'm trying to say. I think Hawk overall is going to be better here just because of the sheer amount of properties on this map, right? It's 54, 56 total income, so that's 28 per player at par. So that's definitely like getting into Hawk territory in terms of like income and stuff. But Sermon is also a very good pick here. Von Bolt is this map is maybe a bit too big for him. So even though his 10-10 is nice, it's a bit too big of a map for it to really matter, and you can pretty easily just throw off his missiles if it comes to that. So, as far as everyone else in Tier 1, Fritz, Bad, and Flawed, Javier, well, it's one con power, so Javier isn't even that great. And Sasha, I feel like, isn't bad in theory here. Like, 54 isn't bad either. And you can use her to lock down Sturm's power, to lock down Hawk's power. So I feel like overall, Sasha's also a decent pick. Just because she's gonna get so much extra income here. She'll be getting an extra, like, 2-3k per turn. Which, it doesn't seem like a lot. But it will allow you to afford a couple of extra things every turn, I feel like. So Sasha is also an excellent pick on this map. I think that's everything for this. Yeah, Javier isn't that great. 51 is actually better than I figured. Like I said, his powers are pretty serviceable, especially against like Sasha, but it's like too big for him, I feel. Especially considering he's just gonna get 10-10 day to day, which isn't bad, and then he has his powers which he can spam a little bit, but I feel like it's too big for him. Oh, and also you don't really get good artillery or indirects in this map anyway, so there's no point really to Javier on this map. But he doesn't really have a niche here. Grit's obviously ass on this map, like 35% win rate. Like, no, way too big. There's nothing for him to hide in, and you can afford plenty of tanks to just move in, swarm him, take him out pretty easily. So Grit's just no, don't pick around this map. Volleyball isn't the best pick, but I can at least see what you can do with him, because day to day he still has 10-10, but Grit is like, no, why would you ever use Grit on this map? Anyways, let's get on with the replay. Yeah, that's where I wanted it. So, I forgot to mention the pipe seams here. You're gonna basically want to blow open them pretty quickly. Well, do you even care? Because you're not going to be wanting to ferry infantry through this at all. So I feel like that pipe seam is kind of extraneous, and it doesn't really do much, because you can just send your infantry around this way anyways, pretty easily. That's another thing that Sturm can do, I guess, is there are these rivers here, so he can send his infantry across them a little bit faster, but that's kind of it. Yeah, and I see, no, you can, like, maybe go across the mountains a bit, Sturm as well, but, like, nothing crazy. What was the STA? It was a 2% STA, so not crazy or anything. Yeah. Overall, not, like, much of a difference between the two players right now. He goes for the tank first. It's a little bit premature because he's not going to be able to chain them. Even though he has 9k income at this point. But yeah, he definitely probably should have waited a second for the tank so that he could have done what I'm about to do, which is have 2 tanks in a chain like this. You basically want him to line up like this so that he can push easier because you got backup with him. So, because this tank is guarding the one I sent in front, I can be a little bit more, I can afford to be a little bit more careless. But he opts for the recon here, which actually I think that's a decent move as well, because this map is so big and there's a lot of roads and everything. So going tank recon isn't the worst, actually. But building the second tank there, I don't know about that. You definitely sort of want to back up your tanks, at least have 2 tanks in one spot maybe. I go tank, tank actually here. Which I probably wouldn't do that now. I feel like tank anti-air is probably a better Buildor. Oh, actually, you know why? It's because I didn't have the income for an extra anti-air that turn. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't have the money for it. I'll get anti-air out this turn, I think. Yeah, especially since I can't afford 2 tanks this turn. Yeah, anti-air now. On a map like this, you definitely want 2 anti-air. For one thing, it's because it's good against infantry anyways. So even if your opponent doesn't go for a battlecopter, it's decent to have some extra firepower against infantry, and they can help out against tanks as well. Like, they're not useless against weakened tanks. They can be very good to finish them off. He actually base skipped there for an anti-air plus a recon. I don't agree with that. You definitely, like, getting out vehicles is important and all, but two infantry there is definitely going to be more useful than a single recon. Especially since he's already got 2 recons out. He doesn't need any more at this point. I feel like I'm gonna be. I feel like I want my second anti-air, another tank, maybe a recon this turn. Tank, infantry, anti-air. Okay, I didn't have enough for a recon. Next turn, I think I'm gonna get out 2 recons, maybe. I forget when I do that, but I like to do 2 recons plus a tank sometimes, because you can usually afford that, and it's just straight up vehicles. You're increasing your vehicle count like crazy. So once you have enough infantry on the board like this, you sort of want to start spamming up vehicles at least a little bit. And in fog, recons are almost always good. So if you can afford it, that's not like the worst option usually. Okay, so I go for a battlecopter actually. Okay, interesting. Give me like 1 second here. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so I go for the battlecopter there. I feel like that's not bad. Because I could afford battlecopter, tank, into infantry there, so that's not actually that bad. I might have... yeah, that uses all my ink better as well, I think. So I think that's probably the good move there. He does push for my comm tower there, which is annoying, but it's not like that much of an issue because I have the tanks in the area. So I just move in with the tanks like that, take it out. Continue to cap my comm tower because it's like, well, you can, if you want, you can move in and take out my infantry, but I'm gonna have some extra ones in position so that I can like deal with that if it comes to that. He goes for a battlecopter as well, actually, there. So overall, as far as like money on the board goes, I think we're pretty close. But I feel like my opponent's been better at just getting income early on, so I feel like he might have a bit more stuff on the board overall. But we'll see. 87, 95, 96. Okay. Yeah, so 31-27 is about neck and neck right now. And he's going to have plenty of money. Right now he's got more income. More money on the board as well, so. That's not bad. I've actually cut off his tanks and infantry and stuff, so he actually can't push in against my comm tower. So I'm going to be able to get the firepower first here. Which may or may not come in handy here. He moves in with a recon there. Okay, and then he gets first strikes against both my tanks there. I almost feel like taking out one of the tanks would be better, but overall not like crazy in terms of what we want to do here. So I take out his tank, and because I'm assuming he doesn't have anything in the near vicinity tanks wise, because he just revealed his 2 tanks down here, he maybe could have had this guy in position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he is turning his recon here. But I just go for the first strike into the infantry capping there, because I figure, may as well, right? May as well try it. I moved all this way because I know he's got the recon there. He can see everything. I know he has infantry in the area anyway, so if I moved onto there, he might have been able to break through and just kill it anyway, so I'm just running this way as fast as I can, basically. And I have, like, triple battlecopter chain at this point as well, so... I moved there trying to see if I can get into the forest, but his infantry there. That wasn't the best move. I should have probably not tried to move in white so aggressively there. Because he's going to be able to just move in with his vehicles now if he wants to and just take out the infantry for free. Both of those infantry for free, basically, which is pretty bad. He just has the one battlecopter and then also the artillery. Oh, and the medium tank down here as well. Which he's going to be sending into my swarm of battlecopters, which means I don't really have much to worry about against that. Yeah, to finish off that infantry. Goes for the join cap there, actually. And because I have the tank firepower here, I'm able to just move in like that, finish him off. Is this guy able to move in? Yeah, he is actually. So I probably should have just stayed back with him, but whatever. And I actually do manage to interrupt his comm tower cap there, which is pretty good, actually. I feel like that's very annoying for my opponent here. So, yeah, and then I've got this guy sticking back here to just guard everything. I've got the tank guarding this city. I do have infantry on the comm tower, but I don't really expect them to hold. I'm kind of expecting to play around that maybe a little bit. And I'm moving in with like my tanks and my battlecopters and stuff now. I've got both of my tanks starting to repair at this point, and we're pretty close in income as well, but I'm ahead in firepower right now. So, as you can see, I managed to... The other thing that's been pretty important for me is that I've been targeting down his units specifically to get rid of his unit count. He spread his damage there against my tanks, so I'm able to hold on to both of them and just repair them up a little bit. But he hasn't done that, so as you can see here, he's down quite significantly in unit count. He's down like 37 to 28. The other thing that's been helping my unit count is I've been spamming battlecopters a little bit, so that's increasing that as well. Because every battlecopter you get out is an extra unit. He goes for another medium tank there, actually. Okay. Yeah, I feel like he doesn't really need the medium tanks this badly. Just pushing in there. Actually is able to sight and take out my battlecopter there, which is pretty cheeky of him. But what's good for me is he's gone ahead and just left his anti-air out in the open here. So that's not bad for me at all. So here I just go for the cap on the comm tower, get a first strike against that tank, and then I go for the black wave here. So take out that infantry, take out this anti-air with the help of the infantry there, get rid of that guy, take out most of that tank, and basically box him in with this weakened infantry. His infantry aren't really in position to really do much. This guy might be able to do something. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Actually, no. He's a bit too far away, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no, he could totally take him out with a recon if he wanted to, but it would then be him. He would basically be just throwing away his recon a bit. But yeah, I'm able to just move in like that, hold on the city there, and then just push in with my battlecopters and everything still. Neo tank and all of this stuff. So actually, he did manage to take out a lot of my unit count last turn. But yeah, he decides to go just to go ahead and resign there at this point. So, honestly, I feel like he still could have done a good amount. He still had a good amount of counterplay here. Well, I don't know. His medium tank could have moved in and taken out this infantry. He could have taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, he could have taken out this tank this turn. He would have basically had to fall back in this area, which would have been fine. Oh, the other thing is that I think that is part of the reason why he decided to resign there, is all his infantry are at 9 health now. Which is the good part about just going ahead and popping Hawk's Black Wave, which you can do pretty easily if you're not playing against Hawk. But what that does is it's very annoying, because basically it means that he needs to send all of his infantry back for repairs before he's able to push it all again. And then since we're actually tied on income at this point, that does start to wear down his stuff a little bit. His medium tanks are a bit too slow to get over here. He doesn't have an anti-air in the area either. So I'm assuming that he's going, okay, shit, I don't really have an answer for these battlecopters at this point. What he could do is just fall back. Well, the thing is, I do have a lot of infantry and stuff in this area, actually. Like, maybe not that much. I have, like, just the one healthy infantry. Yeah, I feel like it's actually not that much. But, like, there's not much you can do to salvage this tank. You can fall back with this guy. Probably fall back with this guy. Oh, and I do have recons at this point. One there, one there. I built both of them in one turn, right? I go for the Neo tank here last turn, but I don't think I even saw his medium tanks yet. I think I just mainly did it because I have the money to. And I'm like, okay, I probably need to tech up at some point here, just to deal with all the light vehicles and stuff. I mean, partially also to just help my battlecopters against, like, anti-air and stuff, because Neo tanks are a very decent answer against anti-air, because they are as fast as anti-air and they can one-shot them. Medium tanks aren't bad against anti-air either, but Neo tanks are definitely a little bit better because they can reach. They have the mobility to deal with them a little bit easier. Let's see. Yeah, so I think the other thing is that he's very scared of this tank block here, because he's I've got like 2 or 3 tanks in this area. So he can't really move in against and contest this cap really. He can maybe do it with this guy, but it would only be delaying the inevitable, basically. So I'm about to get a second con tower, which means I'm going to be 30... I'll have 30% firepower, basically, which is kind of huge against Von Bull. Well, maybe not huge. Huge is maybe an overstatement. Because 42... 51 still isn't enough to, like, wall break consistently. But against 9 health infantry and stuff, he can definitely wall break. Honestly, I feel like getting the second con tower for Hawk isn't even that big of a deal. I think it's more of a big deal for Von Bolt because he isn't able to wall break right now, and that's a big issue for him. Because he only has the one con tower, so he can wall break with luck rolls and stuff, obviously, but he can't do it consistently. And because I have so many tanks and everything out right now, he's gonna have a hard time dealing with that. The other thing is, I'm ahead in unit count. You can't really see that. I'm ahead in value on the board, actually, at this point as well, and we're tied in income. So from this point on, it's just gonna be a one-wave battle, I think, basically. Oh, the other reason I got this Neo tank at this point was to draw fire from the Ex Machina. That's the main reason I got it, actually. That is something that's kind of annoying about this map, actually, is the production centers are pretty close together. So dealing with Von Bolt's missile is kind of annoying to deal with, and you have to make sure you don't have too much stuff built here in one turn, especially like in this airport plus base area here, or just these 2 bases, because they are close enough together that it might just decide to target your production centers, and that's really bad for you, actually, because if you have 2 production centers locked by an Ex Machina, that's like 1 turn that you're not. That's like an extra 2 unit count that you're missing out on. So it's really important that you have to, especially on a compacted production center map like this, you definitely need to account for that. And get like a Neo tank or a bomber or something out pretty early so that you can just send out this way. I was actually thinking of getting a bomber plus infantry there. I didn't have the income for it, but the bomber could have been okay. It's just even if I move it down 1 turn, down like full move for 1 turn, it's like I think it's 7, which is still in Ex Machina range of this space, so it doesn't matter. But the Neo tank I can just send down like that, so it's completely out of the Ex Machina range. Anyways, yeah, his artillery didn't actually do anything. I feel like he might have bought it to deal with this, and then he decided, wait a second, I don't fucking need this. The medium tanks, I think, could have been fine. He just needed to back them up a bit more with anti-air because I decided to start battlecopter spamming a bit. And yeah, he was able to take out one of my battlecopters pretty easily by just breaking through the wall there, but then I had more and like tanks and stuff able to just hop on the anti-air and take it out, so. Overall, I would say a decent match. I feel like it was up until I went for the Black Wave to... I think the Black Wave definitely gave me an edge here and made it and decided the match for me, because I feel like before that it was basically neck and neck. It was more or less even before that. Like right now I have 37 unit count, and I feel like he did a really good job of just evening the playing field, especially on like this turn. Like he took out a lot of my units there, so 33, 32, and then he was able to actually come back a little bit and bridge that unit count gap. So that was very good of him. Very good play by him, because we're basically even. He's ahead in income at this point. Well, value on the board at this point. And the only reason I was able to come back was because I went ahead and just popped the Black Wave, which just gave me the edge like completely. But after that, I basically have no power charge left over. So this was basically it to decide the match, basically. Well, yeah, very good push that I did with the Black Wave there. That's kind of how you want to use Black Wave is, and to an extent Black Storm. But Black Storm you basically want to just push as soon as you get it, because if you don't, you're kind of wasting meter build up. Unless you're playing against like a Hawk or maybe an Andy or something. That's a different calculation to make. But usually you just want to press Black Storm as soon as you get it. Or at least on the turn you get it. You can maybe charge in with your units first if you want to get the most out of your repairs. But anyways, that should be about it for today. Next week is going to be which batch? Come on. There we go. Oh, it'll be this Shadow Drifter one. Okay. So 19-day tier 2 standard match on Shadow Drifter. This is actually, it's base light, so maybe not necessarily the best Sammy map in the world. Like Sammy's only 40%, 48%, but it's also a pretty like small map, so I feel like Sam isn't necessarily bad either, but like Eagle though. Well, actually, Eagle isn't as good as I would have thought. I'm assuming Max, yeah. Okay. Anyways, that'll be next week's match. If you enjoyed, please go ahead and like and subscribe and all that other nonsense, and I will see you guys in the next week. I know this one was out a little bit later than usual. I was sick like all of the last week, but I'm back in the running, so back to my normal upload schedule. Anyways, see y'all next time.